Now, I may have made a colossal error in actually doing my hair, doing my makeup, and like actually getting dressed before I tried this on and figured out exactly where I needed to put things, but at least I didn't put on my lipstick. I started this dress about a year ago, and okay, a little less than a year ago, because it would have been right before it started getting hot. And at that point in time, it was just too hot, and I decided not to wear this, so it didn't matter whether or not I finished it. And I didn't want to necessarily finish it at that point in time because all of this is actually fitted to the current version of me, and like all humans, I fluctuate. And I didn't want to sew this to me at that point when I wasn't gonna wear it. I wanted to wait until basically right now when it got cold again, when I would absolutely wear it, so that I would have a guarantee of this fitting. We're now there. This dress is so much more complicated than any of the dresses that I have sewn this year. I'm a little impressed with myself. For all of my longtime viewers, you've already seen this episode, but for anyone who would like to have the background episode before we jump in here, it'll be around here. Anyway, click it, watch it. Let's take a closer up look at this dress, the pattern, and where everything is at, because I actually think that I can finish the dress today. Today's dress is from 1937 and can be found in the Haslam System of Dress Cutting, Illustrated Book of Draftings, number 14, on page 9. This would be figure 7. And yes, you should absolutely buy this from Depew Publications. The link is in the description. When we look at this material, the first thing is, oh, this is a lint problem. Oh my goodness, this material is an absolute, holy smokes, nightmare of attracting every single bit of lint and then showing it. This is going to be one of the highest maintenance outfits that I ever have. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the details that I've already completed, and then we can finish this. This is the front of the skirt. I deeply like the way this material responded to top stitching. I also absolutely am thrilled with the sewing that I was able to accomplish with how even everything is. When we look at this, this is on the grain, and the two on the sides are on the bias. This material is idiotic to work with. It is a woven, and this is oh, there's been a lot of deep breathing with this material. It's been very, very challenging. Okay, the next thing I want to note is the zipper. Yeah, I don't like where I buckled here, but the thing is that this material did that thing where it started unraveling on me and stretching. So this is one of those things that you cannot pull, yank, or manipulate the material to get it to where you want it as you're running it through the machine. You have to keep everything very solid and stable. And when you're talking about trying to sink a zipper and you've got this many points of anchors that are all coming together, this is a lot of material right here, and it was very, very challenging to get that through. As it is, I'm rather pleased. Am I happy with this zipper though? The zipper in question is vintage, and I'm not sure I'm going to be doing this anymore. This is a very sticky zipper, and I do not appreciate that. It is going to make it very, very difficult to properly care for this garment when I am having to yank this hard on a zipper. It zips, it does close, but whether or not I think that this is an appropriate, it zips, it closes. Do I like how this ended up being? Well, that's where I got it right. I went too narrow here. I got this part correct. Well, this has to be what it is because there's no way I can seam rip this. This material is insanely difficult and very, very picky, and it does not want to be seam ripped. So you know what that is? Probably something that no one else is even going to remotely be looking at when I put this dress on. I'm fine. Now let's do a close-up. This is the part that I'm very pleased with. I was trying to line up the first with that, and look at this. I got it on both sides. I am so pleased with myself. That was the goal. So when I sank both of those sleeves in absolutely perfectly, the one thing that I didn't do, so I sank the shoulders in, and I realized that the sleeves were too short, and that was the point that I realized that I needed to not do sleeves again until I knew exactly how to draft them and not a guesstimate of how to draft them, which is my next project after this. But the sleeves were in too short, and they didn't want to close right here, so I had to go off script because I wasn't going to take out the sleeves, and the problems were going to still be there. So this is what I did. This is going to be quite dramatic. Heck if I know what they would have actually done had they made a mistake like this at that point in time. But this is what's going on. The sleeve now fits because there's enough room for my arm to actually be, because I wasn't able to actually sew, because what I was supposed to do is have all of this together, and that was sewn and that was done without the red. But I can't close it and actually have my arm in there, so we're just gonna do that. And I added a nice cuff. It matches, the buttons match, and the style matches, and this actually now fits. And I did that on both sides. Work with what you've got. Of course we want everything to be historically perfect, but you know what I really, really want more than anything else? I want my hard work to be able to be worn. And thankfully, in this case, I am still not working for a time travel agency in which I'm going to end up getting someone, like spotted out of time, with a time travel problem because I messed up on the sleeves. Thankfully, that is not my problem today. Okay, so I just got lost for like the last 20 minutes because I apparently am comfortable with what I am wearing. This is not going up into my armpits. I actually really like the cut of this. I like the sleeve on this. The only thing that I'm gonna say is that this is not wool. There is no way that this is a natural fiber. This has to be, I'm starting to notice the difference between natural fabrics and fabrics that have plastic in them. This is interesting to me. I never noticed this before, but you know what? It just sort of feels like it's keeping the moisture in a way that natural fabrics do not. I wasn't expecting to get into sewing and then end up being a fiber snob. That wasn't what I was expecting at all. Okay, fabric aside, I am a hem and a waist away from having a complete outfit. Everything is done. I will most likely also put a little doohickey here to keep this closed. I don't want to mess with the collar a whole lot because it's comfortable right now. And if it's comfortable, I don't want to mess with it. So it's laying well, and it is a high collar, but it's not pulling on anything. So this is actually the first time that I've ever had something that almost in the turtleneck range. I normally cannot buy. I can't wear turtlenecks. I'm too big through here, and then I have something up here that will pull all this up. I have a feeling that when I wear like store-bought clothing, this part gets yanked down pretty hard to make room for my ginormous armpits. Okay. What? They're huge. They're like 2 inches larger than the normal average. It makes clothing difficult. Weird body measurements, we all have them. Okay, so this is how I am going to do this. If we take a look at the pattern picture, it looks like there's a belt, but the zipper is here, so obviously it's not a normal belt. Plus, I want to use this to my advantage. I am going to take this and I am going to make this into about a 1-inch belt, sew it flat across the front. The side seam here is perfect for the front. It's the back that I have too much material because I'm supposed to have darts in there. Did any of the basting or chalk marks or pins or anything, did I leave myself any of that last time I had this dress out? No. I have no indication of anything at all. So the dress is now together, and I need for quite a lot of material to be sunk into a belt. So I want you to imagine that this is 1 inch. I'm going to sew it here, and I'm going to butt it up right next to the zipper, and then come around, and that will just be a flat, just boom, flat and sewn. Then, once that is on, I'm going to put the dress back on, and I am going to wave this around, probably charge at the front of this. Okay. It's going to be here, and then I'm going to figure out exactly where this needs to end, because all the way around doesn't change. It's just where the darts are. Then I'm going to lay this flat, determine exactly where I want it to land, hand sew down exactly how I want this to fold, pleat, and dart basically. And this will most likely louse out a little bit. This will fold down very nicely. I will iron it, and then I will sew it down, and at that point take care of the hem, and I'm done. If I cannot get lost in the process of making tea, I should be able to have this done by tonight. I want to draw more of a look right here, which means I'm going to actually sew this part down on both sides so that this isn't floofing over the waistline. I'm not entirely sure, because there are no directions, of what I was supposed to do with this, or if it's right either direction. However, I'm looking at the picture. I like how this goes with this part of the dress. I know that it matches up perfectly because it's the exact same pattern piece, only cut out and then extended right here. So 3 things left. Let's do it. I don't think I could be more pleased with how this dress turned out. It fits. It in the right places. I can raise my arms. I can move. I can easily sit down in this. Things that I really like. I love how this did a little bit more of a flare out than I've normally gotten in the past. And I think the reason for that, I gave this a much larger hem. And on some of the dresses and skirts that I've seen from that time period, that was common. And I'm starting to think that that reinforces the bottom part of the skirt just a little bit more. It gives it a little bit more weight as well as structure to help with that little bit of a flare out on your A-lines. That's just a theory right now, but that makes sense to me. What else? Love the buttons. Love this. Yeah, there's not a part of this that I don't love. I just love all of this. Okay. Not period. This is called a mistake, and I'm cool with it. Okay, so I don't go through the time portal in the dress. That's fine, but you know what I can do? I can wear it around town, and I'm going to look phenomenal. Lintiest material ever. I have a lot of it left over too. I want to make myself a matching cape. I'm into capes right now, and I need to make myself a winter cape. I now have 0 sewing projects that are midstream. Everything is either done and cleaned up and gone, or not even begun. What a beautiful fresh start.